Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Firefist channel. Today we are reviewing on set 80107, the Spring Lantern Festival, which is part of this year's Chinese New Year series. This set has 1,793 pieces, retails for $179.90 SGD and $119.90 USD. Without further ado, let's go on to the review section. Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the review section. I hope you are having a fine holiday today and having a great Lunar New Year, because today is 12th of January, which is the first day of the Lunar New Year. So yeah, really excited, and I actually just finished building this today and I'm really happy with how it looks like. Without further ado, let's go into the review. So starting off with the minifigures, we have the dad and mom, which is part of the family that was first introduced in 2019 when the Chinese New Year sets were first introduced. So this is quite interesting and quite nice with the consistency as well, because ever since that year, his family has been with the Chinese New Year sets, and every single year we see them in different costumes. And for this particular year of 2021, they actually have more of a modern costume to them. This time around, the dad actually spots a more Christmassy kind of sweater right there with some colorations and patterns on him as well, with some green colorations, red colorations, and an entirety of blue with him. And also he has a kind of normal dark tan leg piece over there as well with no prints. Otherwise, his accessory comes with a camera. So for the mom, on the other hand, she actually has more of a double-sided kind of shirt design. She has a nice orange jacket outside, and interior she actually has a nice light blue shirt within. She also has a nice necklace and a nice belt as well on the torso prints. Otherwise, she has a normal white leg piece over there with no prints. Her accessory comes with a phone. So for these characters over here, whereas the mom doesn't really have an alternate face print, the dad actually has one, which I will show you in a bit. Both of them has the face expression of having a large grin on their faces, whereas the dad one actually has an alternate face print whereby it shows that he has no spectacles and has a lighter grin to which. And that's kind of it for these characters right here. Let's move on to the next two. So for our next two minifigure, we have the son and daughter, which is part of the family that was introduced earlier together with the dad and mom. So for this particular two minifigures, they're actually one of my favorites just because like the undershirts on or the torso prints on their body is actually very nice and a nice reference to which. Whereas the girl one is probably a reference to, I guess, Dots, because there's actually a flying pony over there that reminds me of the 1x1 print that Dots have right now. The son, or I guess the boy over there, actually has a reference to his Monkey Kid for his undershirt, which is actually the Monkey Kid insignia. Monkey Kid is actually a very beloved team for me, and I really like the story and what it is. So yeah, this is quite interesting to look at and really like the torso prints. Otherwise, both the son and daughter actually have a secondary face print, which I will show you in a bit, but their first primary face print actually shows that he has a kind of a slight smile to which whereas her, she's actually kind of more surprised because of something. The accessory for the boy actually comes with a lantern piece over there with a nice hanger to attach to him, and then the daughter, or I guess the girl over there, actually has more of a bunny or soft toy over there with a nice rollerblade that I'm not sure what's the context of. Otherwise, let me show you the secondary face print right here. So for the boy, it's actually more of a sad face print, whereas the girl is more of a very, very happy and ecstatic face print to her. And yeah, that's kind of it for this minifigures. The back torso is really simple without much prints. So yeah. So moving on to our next two minifigures, we have over here the couple that is first introduced in the Spring Lantern Festival set. So these two characters are actually, I guess, one of my favorites together with boy and girl, just because like they're very representative of this set and the year in general, just because as you can see, the torso piece over there has a nice print of 2021 printed on it. And honestly, that is probably the only interesting thing about these minifigures, other than the accessories of course. As you can see, other than the specific print of 2021, their leg prints over there are inexistent, meaning they do not exist, and they just have a normal blue leg piece over there for both of them, different kinds of blues. And otherwise, moving on to the accessories, the guy actually has more of a brick built smoothie over there, which is quite nice, and the girl actually has more of a special one, which is a selfie stick, which has, I'm pretty sure, a new 1x2 print over there for phones, so that's quite nice to get. Both of these minifigures actually do not have any secondary face prints, so that's kind of sad to look at. But before I move on, I actually want to show you the back torso prints over here for both these characters, which is actually the same. So yeah, this is the general design of the back torso, and that's kind of it for this minifigures. Now we can move on to the next ones. Okay, for our next two minifigures, one of them is not really a minifigure, he's kind of more of a mascot for this particular park or pavilion over here. So yeah, but looking at the actual minifigure first, on our left we have this guy who was probably first introduced in the 2020, like the temple set over there. I think he was possibly kind of dating a girl, going on a date in that particular set, in the context of which, and I assume so because I'm pretty sure he has the same hairpiece and the face print as the one shown in 2020. So it's good to see him again, but being solo, probably the date from last time didn't went so well. But yeah, getting into context of the set, he actually looks quite nice in appearance as well, although his torso print is kind of simple with a nice blue jacket on him, and I guess a nice strap over there that probably connects the back that we don't see because he's the Lego minifigure. But his accessory is probably the most special part of him, just because like he has the tangyuan, or I guess the paste dumpling that you see over here, with a nice spoon over there for him to scoop out and eat. He's probably enjoying his time by himself and eating all the different tangyuans over there. So great for him, man. Otherwise, we have over here the mascot of this particular set, which is the basic Chinese New Year statue that is given and has not been given in any Chinese New Year sets before. So it's very nice to get him. And there's also nice Chinese characters over here as well, which has a nice 2021 symbol over here representing the year. And yeah, I just really like the design of here. And even the back torso have quite nice, I guess, diagrams over here as well, or like different representations of the Chinese New Year, like as I said, the tangyuan over there and the lantern. They are representative of this festival. So that's quite nice to get, and I actually really like this particular mascot minifigure, more so than this guy over here. But yeah, this is the back torso of this guy over here with a nice, as I say, back that is attached to the strip at the front. So yeah, and that's kind of it for this minifigures. Now we move on to the main set design. Alright, starting off with the main set design here, first of all, what I want to say is the credit that this set is getting right now is just not enough for what it is. What I feel after building this is that the building experience basically changed my opinion of this set so far. It's really a very beautiful set in general, and I would say I'll give it a rating higher than my spring, like not my spring lantern, but the temple set I had last year for Chinese New Year. Because like this set is just a very nice modular set for what it is. And I don't get why the price in the secondary market in Singapore is really dropping down to $80 USD right now. It really doesn't deserve that, and I feel like it deserves much better than what it is. And yeah, this set is just really something that knocks my opinion off the roof and just gave me a whole new opinion on this and why it's such a good set for what it is. And yeah, so getting on to the review of this set, I really want to just talk about the design first. So this particular set, as I kind of mentioned, it's more of a modular design to what it is, and you can connect it to any kind of modular builds that you see in Lego Creator, or maybe like certain Monkey Kid sets like the particular mech set that I had, which had a modular build in it. You can connect it to that as well, and yeah, you give it a nice vibe to which. And the Technic pins are actually at this point over here and at the sides as well, which you can connect in different ways, which I will show you in a bit. But before that, I actually want to talk more of the pavement, as you can see over here. Starting off with the sidewalk over here, as you can see, we have first the statue over there, which I first introduced in the minifigure section over here. He has his own set of Chinese characters over there, so that's quite nice. Otherwise, if we move to the gate over there, that's actually two different 1x3 panels over there that has prints on it as well. The left one actually has this basically idiom called 张灯结彩, which means to put out decorations such as lanterns for a celebratory occasion. On the right, it says 阖家欢乐, which means the family will be happy wherever they are. So yeah, that's quite a nice touch to which, but otherwise, if we move down towards the right, there's also a lamppost over there with some lanterns on it. And of course, the 3 flags over there, which is probably the most special among all of which. So for this flags over here, they are basically what you will call kind of a Chinese quiz game called Chai Deng Mi, which is where the first flag kind of shows a hint for people to guess the word, and the second flag shows the answer. So the first hint actually is Bai Tang Mate, which is basically the answer to which is Yuan Xiao. So Yuan Xiao Jie, which is also known as Spring Lantern Festival, is the 15th day of the Lunar New Year, where there is full moon in the sky, and on this particular day, families will eat this dessert called tangyuan, which is a glutinous rice ball. So Baitang Meizi essentially means glutinous rice ball is in white like sugar, Baitang, and round like meizi, plum. So yeah, that's really quite an interesting thing, and I really like that Lego put this touch to which. Otherwise, secondly, we have this next hint over here, which is a basic hint towards the answer, which is the moon itself. So it basically says that the description is that this particular item or object is like sometimes it could be round and sometimes it could be crescent in shape, and that's basically hinting that the moon can change its shape in the sky as the lunar calendar goes on. So that's what it is. Otherwise, the reference to which the moon is because like on the 15th day of the lunar calendar, during this particular period, the full moon will actually appear on the day itself, which is the last day of Chinese New Year. So that's kind of a good reference to which, and I really like that as well. So the third one actually says that the object or the animal has a horn on it as well, and it eats grass. So what it's referencing to is the zodiac cow, which is the second zodiac in the 12 zodiacs of the Chinese mythology. And yeah, I quite like the reference as well because it's very relevant to the particular cow mascot, as you can see inside the particular pavilion build as well. And then if we move to the side of the other sidewalk over there, you can see that there's actually like nice lanterns over there as well, with some of them having a minifigure headpiece as well with a nice print on it. There's actually a cow print as well with front and back on both sides, so that's quite nice. And then there's a gate at the leading on to where the cow mascot is as well, and the lamppost at the side. And then that's kind of it for the pathwalk. Now let's go into the interior design of the main build. Now looking at the interior of the park, we can see that there's a nice pond area with nice reflective surface, an amazing bull mascot, and a bridge leading to the following part of the pavilion. So first looking at the bull, I honestly really like the prints on it, such as the eyes and this 1x2 brick which is printed with a nice spiral, as you can see over there. As to whether a light brick is needed, though it looks cool as you see here, so it actually illuminates the whole thing. But honestly, it's not that necessary, just because like it's not really relevant to the bow itself. It doesn't really look like a lantern or anything like that. Otherwise, behind the bow, there's also some really nice lanterns over there, being put up with the printed headpiece with the nice bull print and the 2x2 printed tile which says the Spring Festival in Chinese characters. Otherwise, moving to the front, there's also a concrete pavement where minifigures can walk on. And over here there's an oddly colored tree with purple patterns that honestly is the only thing that does not go well with the particular build. So I might have to minus a bit of points on the aesthetics of this because of that. Anyways, moving forward, we have the nice pond here with a very realistic bridge which brings our minifigures to the other side of the pond. The pond in this set is probably my favorite part of it, just because of how real the structure is. There's so many irregular shapes and patterns purposefully made to create a contrast and realism. Not to mention the amazing 1x2 koi fish printed tiles and lotus flower made using eggshells over there, which make this pond even more lively. Simply amazing in my opinion. Next, at the end of the bridge, you can see a lantern hanged up over here with the same cow print on the figurehead as well. Now before moving on to actually the main pavilion, allow me to actually put your attention to this neat bamboo tree built here as well, which make this build more natural. These builds are not just realistic, but they are very flexible as well, as seen from how these bamboo pieces can be actually turned up and down, as you can see over here. So yeah, it's quite flexible in certain ways. Otherwise, now going into the pavilion area, we first look at the pavement entrance, which is filled with these lanterns over here as well, which is not anything special or different from the others, so I won't get into it too much, but I just wanted to point it out. Following that, we finally reach the pavilion itself, which is translated to, as you can see, the print over here, which is the Gazing Moon Pavilion. So that's kind of nice because I guess it's meaning that minifigures can actually use the pavilion to watch the full moon, so that's a nice reference to the Lunar New Year. Looking at this pavilion, there isn't much other than the table within and a huge space for figures to walk about. Other than that, honestly, I'm just pretty intrigued by the unique pieces such as this blue banana piece over here and like the round bricks to create the texture of this build. Though talking about the banana piece, this parts over here honestly can be improved, as these pieces are actually kind of loose and they can be removed very easily. I don't really want to touch it too much because it always drops out. And yeah, that's kind of minus point in terms of which. Other than that actual comment, I guess I'll just show you how the pavilion is actually attached and get on with the final verdict. So the pavilion is actually connected by this Technic pins over here and can be actually split to two parts and connected in different ways. So there's actually a Technic pin here that you can kind of push out this part, and yeah, basically your whole set will split into two parts and you can connect it in different ways. One way you can do so is via the connecting pins on this side, and then after which you just connect it over here and it should match together. And yeah, that's the other method of attaching this set in particular and kind of how you display it. Otherwise, I think at the other side there's also other Technic pins as well, which allows you to do so. So you can actually place this set in different manner as you like. So yeah, I really like the flexibility in terms of which. And since I'm done showing you the Technic connections, now I'll give my final verdict. The aesthetics of this set is a 9 due to its beauty, and also taking into consideration that this tree over here is totally out of place, honestly. The functionality wise, I'll give it a 9 as well, mainly due to loose connections of this pavilion, which is why I probably never gave it a 10, so otherwise it's almost near perfect as a display set. Lastly, for price to piece ratio, it's definitely a 10, as they are around half of the normal price to piece ratio, which is really good. With a total score of 28 out of 30, it's definitely an A+ in my book, and one of my favorite sets so far. I recommend this to anyone who wants a culturally accurate and beautiful set to buy and own over this festive season. Thanks for no quit, see you in the next adventure, and happy Lunar New Year. Bye guys!